I stood in the kitchen, staring at the stack of bills on the counter. The daycare invoice sat on top, $100 for the month. My wife, Jennifer, walked in, saw me looking, and sighed before I could even speak. "We can't afford it, David," she said, not meeting my eyes. "We'll have to pull Emma out." I felt something hollow open up in my chest. Emma was 3. She loved that daycare. She'd made friends there. She sang songs from circle time in the bathtub. "What do you mean we can't afford it?" I asked. "I just got my quarterly bonus. We should be—" "The bonus is gone," she said, pouring herself coffee. "It went to bills, credit cards. You know how tight things have been." I knew we'd been careful. I'd been tracking our expenses on a spreadsheet for months. But Jennifer handled the actual accounts. She always had. She was better with numbers, she'd said when we got married. I'd believed her. "Maybe I can pick up some weekend shifts," I offered. "Or we could—" "David, I'm not discussing this anymore." Her voice had an edge now. "Emma will be fine at home with me. It's probably better anyway. Daycare kids get sick all the time." She left the kitchen. I heard her bedroom door close. I looked at the bills again. Something felt wrong, but I couldn't name it. That conversation happened on a Tuesday. By Friday, I'd pulled Emma from daycare. The director was kind about it, said we could re-enroll any time, but I saw the disappointment in her face. Emma cried the last day. She didn't understand why she couldn't see her friends anymore. Jennifer seemed relieved. I've been working from home since the pandemic, doing software consulting. Jennifer had been a marketing manager before Emma was born, but she'd stopped working after the delivery. We'd agreed she'd stay home until Emma started kindergarten. It made sense. Daycare was expensive, and Jennifer wanted to be present, but I made good money, not wealthy, but comfortable. My base salary was $110K, and with bonuses and contract work, I pulled in close to $140K some years. We lived in a modest house, 1-car payment. No extravagant vacations. The math should have worked, but Jennifer kept saying it didn't. "We need to cut back on groceries," she told me one morning, handing me a list. "Generic brands only, and no more of that fancy coffee you like." I looked at the list. It was sparse. Rice, beans, frozen vegetables. The kind of list I'd made in college when I was living on $30 a week. "Are things really that bad?" I asked. "Yes, David, they are." She sounded frustrated, like I was being deliberately difficult. "I've been trying to tell you this for months. We're barely making it." I wanted to ask to see the accounts, but something stopped me. Maybe it was habit. Maybe it was trust. Maybe it was shame, the shame of admitting I didn't actually know where our money went. So I said nothing. I bought the generic coffee. I stopped ordering lunch during work. I started looking for extra contract gigs. I was happy to let her handle it. For 7 years, she'd handled it. I worked. She managed. It had always seemed fair. I'd built my career from nothing. Scholarship to state school, worked nights and weekends, graduated with honors. Landed a decent job at a tech firm, then went independent after Emma was born, so I'd have more flexibility. I'd been proud of that, proud that I could provide, proud that Jennifer could stay home if she wanted. I remembered the early years of our marriage. We'd been happy. We'd talked about everything, her family, my family, our dreams, our fears. We'd wanted 2 kids, maybe 3, a house with a yard, normal things. Emma had been a difficult pregnancy. Jennifer had complications. Bed rest for 3 months. I'd taken care of everything, cooking, cleaning, working. I'd been terrified of losing them both. When Emma was born healthy, I'd cried in the hospital room while Jennifer slept. Those first months with a newborn had been hard. Jennifer struggled. She was exhausted, anxious. She'd had postpartum depression. I'd tried to help, but I was working long hours to make up for the unpaid leave I'd taken. I thought we'd gotten through it. She'd seemed better after Emma's first birthday, lighter, more like herself. But now I wondered if something had shifted that I hadn't noticed. "You're always working, but we never have any money. Where does it all go?" I didn't know how to answer that. I was giving her my entire paycheck. Every deposit went straight to the joint account. I kept nothing separate. I'd thought that was what you did in a marriage. One night I suggested we sit down together and go over the budget. Why? She asked. Don't you trust me? Of course I trust you, I said quickly. I just want to understand. Understand what? That I'm struggling to keep us afloat while you work from home in your pajamas? I'd been wearing sweatpants. It was 9 p.m. I'd been coding since 6 a.m. That's not fair, I said, quietly. Fair? She laughed, but it wasn't a kind sound. You want to talk about fair, David? I gave up my career. I gave up my body. I'm home all day with a 3-year-old while you get to do what you love. I thought you wanted to stay home. I did. I do. She rubbed her face. I'm sorry, I'm just stressed. Money's tight, and I'm trying to make it work, and you questioning me doesn't help. I apologized. I told her she was doing a great job. I said I'd pick up more work. She smiled and kissed my cheek and said she appreciated me. The conversation ended, but I felt uneasy for days afterward. When do I see Miss Rachel? She'd say. Miss Rachel was her teacher. Not right now, sweetheart, Jennifer would answer. Maybe later, but later never came. I tried to make it up to Emma. I'd take breaks during the day to play with her. We'd build block towers, read books, go to the park. But I saw how Jennifer watched me during those moments. Her expression was hard to read. Not quite disapproval, not quite resentment, something else. You should be working, she'd say. I am working. I'm on a break. We can't afford for you to take breaks. I'd go back to my computer. Emma would watch me leave with confused eyes. At night after Emma was asleep, Jennifer would be on her phone. I'd see her scrolling, typing, smiling at the screen. When I asked what she was looking at, she'd say nothing, or just Facebook, and turn the screen away. I didn't push. What right did I have to push? But I noticed she'd changed her phone password. It used to be Emma's birthday. Now it was something else. Things are just difficult right now. Is everything okay with you and Jennifer? Yeah, everything's fine. But my mother knew me. She'd raised me. She heard the lie. If you need help? We don't need help, Mom. We're fine. After I hung up, Jennifer came into the room. What did she want? Just to see if we're coming for Emma's birthday. And you said no? You said we can't afford it. She studied me for a moment. I did say that. Good. Your mother's exhausting anyway. My mother wasn't exhausting. She was kind and generous, and she'd worked 2 jobs to put me through school when my father left. But I didn't say that. I was saying less and less. Oh. We opened the windows. The house stayed hot. Emma got cranky. I set up a fan in her room and worked in the living room with my laptop burning my legs. The AC broke completely in July. I called a repair company without telling Jennifer. The technician came out, looked at the unit, and gave me an estimate. $800 to fix it, he said. But honestly, this system's on its last legs. You're probably looking at a full replacement in the next year or 2. That'll run you $6,000 to $8,000. I thought about our account. The account, Jennifer said, was nearly empty. Can you fix it for now? I asked. He could. He did. I put it on my credit card, the one card I'd kept separate, for emergencies. I'd never mentioned it to Jennifer. Now I was glad I hadn't. When Jennifer found out, she was furious. You spent $800 without asking me? We needed AC. Emma was miserable. We have a budget, David. You can't just... She stopped, took a breath. Where did you even get the money? I have a credit card. Her face changed. You have a secret credit card? It's not secret. I've had it since before we got married. I just never closed it. And you've been hiding it. I wasn't hiding anything. How much is on it? Nothing. I pay it off every month. How much was on it before today? 0. She stared at me. I couldn't read her expression. Don't ever do that again, she finally said. We make financial decisions together. We do? The question came out before I could stop it. She heard the edge in my voice. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. I'm sorry. You're right. But I wasn't sorry, and she wasn't right, and something between us had cracked. 2 weeks later, I got my quarterly bonus. $8,500 before taxes, $6,200 after. I deposited it like always. That night, Jennifer made my favorite dinner, chicken parmesan, garlic bread. She opened a bottle of wine. "I'm sorry I've been stressed," she said. "I know you work hard. I appreciate you." I wanted to believe her. I wanted things to go back to how they'd been. "It's okay," I said. "We're a team." She smiled. We had a nice evening. We watched a movie after Emma went to bed. We didn't fight. The next morning I was working when my phone buzzed. A notification from our bank. "Large purchase alert, $2,400. I opened the app. The charge was from a furniture store. I hadn't bought furniture. I went to find Jennifer. She was in the backyard with Emma, pushing her on the swing. "Hey," I called. "Did you buy furniture?" She didn't look at me. "Just a new couch for the living room. Ours is falling apart." Our couch was fine. 8 years old maybe, but fine. $2,400? It was on sale. I stood there, watching my daughter laugh as she swung higher. I thought about the daycare we couldn't afford, the groceries we had to cut back on, the gas money we didn't have. "I thought we were broke," I said. Now she looked at me. "We got your bonus, David. We can afford one nice thing." But we couldn't afford daycare. Daycare is $1,400 every month. A couch is a one-time purchase. The math didn't work. It didn't make sense. But I didn't know how to argue, so I went back inside, back to my computer, back to work. But I couldn't concentrate. I kept thinking about that notification, about the furniture store, about Jennifer's face when I'd questioned her. I opened our bank account. I scrolled through the transactions. I started seeing things I didn't recognize. A charge for $340 at a spa, $180 at a salon, $95 at a boutique, $220 at a restaurant I'd never heard of, all recent, all after my bonus. I went back further, more charges, $500 here, $300 there, places I'd never been, things I'd never bought. My hands were shaking. I printed the statements. 3 months' worth. I highlighted everything I didn't recognize. The total was over $15,000. I wanted to confront her. I wanted to walk outside and ask her to explain. But something stopped me. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was the knowledge that once I asked, I couldn't unknow the answer. So I waited. I watched. I said nothing. That week, Jennifer was cheerful. She was affectionate. She made nice dinners. She laughed at my jokes. She was the woman I'd married. But I kept thinking about those charges. On Thursday, she told me she was meeting a friend for lunch. She left at noon. She came back at 4 p.m., carrying shopping bags. "I thought you were having lunch," I said. "I was. We went shopping after." "What did you buy?" She showed me. "Clothes, a new purse, shoes." "How much?" I asked. "Why does it matter?" "Because you told me we're broke, Jennifer. Because you told me we can't afford daycare or gas or anything, and now you're buying—" I gestured at the bags. "All of this." Her face went cold. "I'm allowed to have things, David. I'm home all day. I deserve something for myself." "I never said you didn't." "Then why are you interrogating me?" "I'm not interrogating you. I'm asking you to help me understand how we can't afford Emma's daycare, but we can afford—" "You think I'm wasting money." Her voice was flat. "I think something doesn't add up." "You don't trust me." "I don't understand," I said. "Please help me understand." She picked up her bags. "I'm done with this conversation." She went upstairs. I heard the bedroom door lock. I thought about the 7 years we'd been married. I thought about all the times I'd handed over my paycheck without question. All the times I'd trusted her to handle things. I thought about my daughter who couldn't go to daycare because we didn't have money. And I thought about that $2,400 couch that we apparently could afford. At 2 a.m. I got up. I went to my office. I logged into our bank account. I downloaded every statement from the past 3 years. Then I started reading. Hotels in cities I'd never visited. I looked at my deposits, every paycheck, every bonus, every contract payment, all of it going in and then going out. To places I'd never been, for things I'd never bought. I checked our savings account. It was supposed to have $40,000. Emergency fund, Emma's college money. It had $30,200. I checked our credit cards. We were supposed to have one joint card with a $5,000 limit. There were 4 cards. Total balance, $28,000. All in my name. All my responsibility. I sat there in my office at 3 a.m. looking at numbers on a screen and felt something break inside me. And 4 credit cards? Is there something specific you're looking for? Any accounts that just have my wife's name? I can't access accounts I'm not authorized on, sir. But I can tell you if there are other accounts linked to your shared address. Please, I heard typing, then a pause. I'm showing one additional checking account at your address. It's not under your name. I can't give you details, but I can confirm it exists. My heart was pounding. Can you tell me anything about it? Only that it was opened 4 years ago, and it's active. 4 years, right after Emma was born. Thank you, I said. My voice sounded far away. I hung up. I sat at my desk. I tried to breathe normally. Jennifer had a secret account. An account I didn't know about. An account she'd never mentioned. An account she'd opened while telling me we were broke. I needed more information. I called a lawyer that afternoon. I found one through a referral service. Her name was Patricia. She was kind but direct. What you're describing sounds like financial infidelity, she said after I'd explained. It's more common than you'd think. What do I do? First, protect yourself. Open your own account. Start diverting your income there. You need to know she can't drain everything before you figure this out. Well, isn't that... I hesitated. Won't that make things worse? Mr. Harrison, things are already worse. You just didn't know it yet. She was right. That day I opened an account at a different bank, just checking, nothing fancy. I set up my next paycheck to deposit there instead of the joint account. Then I called my credit card companies. I froze the cards. I explained there might be fraudulent activity. They were helpful. They promised to investigate. I did all of this from my office while Jennifer was in the other room with Emma. I felt like a criminal. I felt like I was betraying her. But I remembered those statements, those numbers, that secret account. And I kept moving forward. Did your paycheck not deposit? It deposited, I said. Where? A different account. She looked up. Her face was very still. What do you mean, a different account? I opened my own checking account. Why would you do that? I looked at her. Really looked at her. This woman I'd loved. This woman I'd married. This woman who was lying to me. Because I found the statements, I said quietly. The color drained from her face. What statements? All of them. 3 years. Every charge, every withdrawal. I paused. Every secret. She set her phone down carefully. David, how much is in your account, Jennifer? I don't. The account you opened 4 years ago, the one you never told me about. How much is in it? She didn't answer. She just stared at me. I spoke to a lawyer, I continued. My voice was calm. I was surprised by how calm I was. She said I need to protect myself. So that's what I'm doing. You spoke to a lawyer? Her voice was faint. I froze the credit cards. I moved my income. I documented everything. I stood up. And I need you to tell me the truth, right now. How much money have you been hiding? Jennifer's hands were shaking. It's not what you think. Then tell me what it is. She stopped. Started again. I was saving it. Saving it. For us. For emergencies. We have an emergency fund, Jennifer. It's supposed to have $40,000 in it. It has $30,200. So, where's the rest? She didn't answer. How much? I asked again. How much is in your secret account? She whispered something. I didn't hear you. $92,000. The room tilted. I grabbed the edge of the counter. $92,000. She nodded. Where did it come from? From us, from our account. I'd move money over. A little at a time, just to keep it safe. Safe from what? From... She trailed off. I don't know. I just wanted to have something that was mine. I thought about Emma's daycare, about the groceries I'd been eating less of, about the air conditioning I'd paid for with my emergency credit card because she'd said we were broke. You told me we couldn't afford daycare, I said. You made me pull our daughter out of a place she loved. You made me feel like I wasn't providing enough. You made me work weekends and skip meals and apologize for spending $800 to keep our house livable. My voice was rising. I couldn't stop it. And the whole time, you had almost $100,000 in an account you never told me about. I was going to tell you when. I was shouting now. I never shouted. When were you going to tell me, Jennifer? When there was $200,000? When Emma was in kindergarten? When I'd worked myself to death trying to make ends meet that didn't need to meet? Emma started crying from her room. We both heard it. Jennifer moved toward the stairs. Don't, I said. I'll get her. I went to my daughter. I picked her up. I held her while she cried into my shoulder. I told her everything was okay. I was lying, but 3-year-olds believe you when you tell them that. When I came back downstairs, Jennifer was gone. Her car wasn't in the driveway. Her phone went straight to voicemail. She didn't come back that night. It felt like betrayal, like theft, like years of my life had been a performance I hadn't known I was in. I thought about all the times I'd apologized for not making enough money, all the times I'd felt inadequate, all the times I'd pushed myself harder, worked longer, sacrificed more. For what? So my wife could stockpile money she'd stolen from our family while telling me we were broke? Emma woke up at 6 a.m. I made her breakfast. I put on cartoons. I tried to act normal. Where's Mommy? She asked. Mommy's at Grandma's, I lied. I didn't know where Mommy was. Oh. Emma went back to her cereal. At 9 a.m., Jennifer texted me, I'm sorry, can we talk? I didn't respond. At 11 a.m., please, I'll explain everything. At 2 p.m., David, please. At 5 p.m., she came home. Hi, can we talk? I nodded. We sat at the kitchen table. The same table where she'd told me we couldn't afford daycare. The same table where I'd believed her. I'm sorry, she said. I know that's not enough, but I am. Why? I don't know. That's not an answer, Jennifer. She twisted her hands together. After Emma was born, I felt so lost. I wasn't working. I wasn't myself. I was just Mom and David's wife, and I didn't have anything that was mine. So you stole from us? I didn't think of it as stealing. It was our money. I wanted some control, some security. We had security. We have security. I work constantly to give us security. Your security? You make the money. You decide how we live. I never decided anything without you. Exactly. She looked up at me. You never decided anything. You just went along with whatever I said because you trusted me, and She stopped. I don't know. I liked having that power. I liked having something you didn't know about. I stared at her, this person I'd married, this stranger. You liked lying to me. I didn't lie. Jennifer, you've been lying to me for 4 years. She had no answer for that. What were you going to do with it? I asked. The money. What was your plan? I didn't have a plan. Were you going to leave me? No. Then what? I just wanted it there, in case. In case of what? In case you left me. Her voice was small. In case something happened. In case I needed it. I thought about my mother, who'd had nothing when my father left, who'd worked herself to exhaustion to give me a decent life, who'd never remarried because she said she'd never trust anyone with her security again. I'd promised myself I'd never be like my father. I'd provide. I'd be reliable. I'd be trustworthy. And Jennifer had been preparing for me to abandon her the entire time. I've never given you a reason not to trust me, I said quietly. I know. I've worked every day to take care of us. I know. And you still thought I'd leave. She was crying now. My dad left when I was 7. My mom had nothing. We had nothing. I watched her struggle for years. I swore I'd never be in that position. So you put me in it instead? She flinched. You have $92,000, I said. I have debt in my name. Credit cards I didn't know about. An empty savings account. What was your plan if I found out? What did you think would happen? I didn't think you'd find out. So you were just going to keep lying to me forever. She didn't deny it. I stood up. I need you to leave. David, not permanently, just for tonight. I need to think. I need to figure out what to do next, and I can't do that with you here. Where am I supposed to go? I don't know. A hotel? Your mother's? Anywhere that isn't here. What about Emma? Emma stays with me. You can't. I can, I said. And I am. Go pack a bag. You can come back tomorrow. We'll figure things out, but tonight, I need you gone. She started to argue. Then she saw my face. She stopped. 20 minutes later, she was gone. She's been moving money there for 4 years. Did you record the conversation? No. Should I have? It would help, but her admission might be enough. The question now is what you want to do. I don't know. Let me ask you this. Do you want to stay married? I thought about it, really thought about it. I don't know, I said honestly. I love her, or I loved who I thought she was, but I don't know if I can get past this. That's fair, Patricia said. Here's what I suggest. Don't make any permanent decisions yet, but protect yourself. Keep your income separate. Document everything. Get copies of all statements, including from her account if you can, and start thinking about what you'd need to see from her to rebuild trust, if that's even possible. What if it's not? Then we discuss divorce. And in a divorce, that $92,000 is a marital asset. It gets divided. That thought hadn't occurred to me. The money she'd hidden was legally half mine anyway. I almost laughed. It was too absurd. Then she pulled out her phone. She opened her banking app. She handed it to me. I looked at the balance. $92,347.18. I scrolled through the transactions, regular deposits from our joint account, some dating back 4 years, others more recent. The most recent was from last week, $1,500, my last paycheck, while she was telling me we were broke. I handed the phone back. I want you to transfer half of it to my new account. What? You heard me. That money came from both of us. Half of it is mine. I want it in my account by end of business today. David, that's what? I leaned forward. Fair? Reasonable? Exactly what you should have done 4 years ago instead of hiding it? She had no argument. Fine, she said quietly. I'll transfer it. And I want access to that account, full access. I want to see every transaction, every deposit, everything. Okay. And the credit cards. I want them paid off with your money. David, that's $28,000. You have $92,000. You can afford it. But then I'll only have $18,000, I finished, plus the $46,000 I'm letting you keep. That's $64,000. Still more than most people have saved. Still more than you deserve. She stared at me. You're being cruel. I'm being fair, I said. You want to see cruel? Cruel would be taking you to court. Cruel would be divorcing you and splitting everything, including the house. Cruel would be fighting you for full custody of Emma and using your financial deception as evidence you're an unfit parent. Her face went white. You wouldn't. I could, I said. I've spoken to a lawyer. I know my options. But I'm giving you a choice. You can do this my way. Transfer the money, pay the debt, give me full transparency, or we can do it the legal way. Your decision. She looked at me like she didn't know me. Maybe she didn't. Maybe I didn't know me any more either. I'll transfer the money, she said. Today. Today. And the credit cards? I'll pay them. By when? By Friday. I nodded. Okay. She stood up. Are you going to divorce me? I don't know yet. Do you still love me? I looked at her, really looked at her. This woman I'd married, this woman who'd lied to me for 4 years, this woman who had made me feel inadequate and guilty and small while she hoarded money she'd stolen from us. I don't know that either, I said. She left the room. I heard her crying in the bedroom. I felt nothing. The emergency fund that should have existed all along. I kept the rest, my own security, my own control. Jennifer didn't argue. She didn't fight. She just accepted it. But something had changed between us. We spoke in careful sentences. We didn't touch. We slept in separate rooms. Emma noticed. Why is Daddy sleeping in the other room? She asked Jennifer one morning. Daddy's bed is more comfortable, Jennifer said. Can I sleep there too? No, sweetheart. That's Daddy's special bed. Emma accepted this. She accepted everything. She was 3. She trusted us to tell her the truth. I envied her that innocence. When Jennifer saw them, she opened her mouth, then closed it. I took Emma to visit my mother. We drove 3 hours. We stayed the weekend. My mother was thrilled. Emma was happy. Jennifer stayed home alone. When we got back, Jennifer asked, "How was your trip?" "Nice," I said. "Mom sends her love." "Did you tell her?" "Tell her what?" "About everything." "No, that's between us." She looked relieved. But I thought about it. I'd lied for her. Protected her, kept her secret even from my own mother. Why? She was crying. "I made a terrible mistake. I know that. But it doesn't mean I don't love you. It means you don't respect me." "That's not—" "It is, Jennifer. You lied because you didn't respect me enough to tell me the truth. You stole because you didn't respect me enough to trust me. You made me suffer because you didn't respect me enough to care. That's not fair. None of this is fair." We stood in our kitchen, the kitchen where everything had fallen apart, and I waited to see what she'd say next. "Please," she finally said, "just try counseling. If it doesn't work, I'll accept that. But please, just try." I thought about Emma, about how she deserved a family, about how I'd been raised by a single mother and how hard that had been. "Fine," I said, "we'll try counseling." She looked so hopeful, so relieved. I felt nothing. Our first session was on a Wednesday. The therapist's name was Dr. Shaw. She was in her 50s, calm, professional. "Tell me what brings you in," she said. Jennifer looked at me. I looked at the floor. "My husband found out I've been hiding money," Jennifer said quietly. "How much money?" Dr. Shaw asked. "About $92,000. Dr. Shaw's expression didn't change, but I saw the flicker of surprise. "That's a significant amount." "How long were you hiding it?" 4 years. "And during those 4 years, were you representing to David that finances were tight?" "Yes." "So David was operating under the belief that money was scarce while you were secretly accumulating savings?" "Yes." Dr. Shaw looked at me. "David, how did you feel when you discovered this?" I thought about how to answer, how to put into words the hollow feeling in my chest, the betrayal, the anger. "Like our entire marriage was a lie," I said. Jennifer flinched. "Tell me more about that," Dr. Shaw said gently. "She made me feel like I wasn't enough, like I wasn't providing, like we were struggling because of me. And the whole time she had almost $100,000 hidden away. She made me pull our daughter out of daycare. She made me cut back on groceries. She made me feel guilty for spending money on necessities." I paused. "And she did all of it while secretly taking more from me." "Jennifer," Dr. Shaw said, "why did you hide the money?" Jennifer twisted her hands. "My father left when I was young. My mother struggled. I watched her have nothing. I swore I'd never be in that position." "So you were protecting yourself?" "Yes, even though it meant hurting your husband." "I didn't think of it that way." "How did you think of it?" "I thought of it as being smart, as being prepared," Dr. Shaw nodded. "And did you consider how David might feel if he discovered this?" "I didn't think he would discover it." "So the plan was to hide it indefinitely." "I don't know. I guess so." Dr. Shaw looked at me. "David, what do you need from Jennifer to begin to rebuild trust?" I didn't have to think about it. I need to know it won't happen again. I need complete financial transparency. And I need her to understand why what she did was wrong. Not just that it hurt me, but why it was fundamentally a betrayal. "Do you understand that, Jennifer?" Dr. Shaw asked. "Yes," Jennifer said quickly. But Dr. Shaw wasn't done. "Walk me through it. Why was it a betrayal?" Jennifer struggled. "Because I lied? And? Because I took money without him knowing? And? Because—" She stopped. "I don't know what else you want me to say." "I want you to understand," Dr. Shaw said quietly, "that you weren't just lying or taking money. You were fundamentally denying David his agency in his own life. You were making decisions about his worth, his adequacy, his security, without his knowledge or consent. You were treating him not as a partner, but as someone to be managed and controlled." Jennifer was crying now. "And until you can fully acknowledge that, Doctor, Shaw continued, I don't think David can trust you, because trust isn't just about honesty. It's about respect. And what you did showed a profound lack of respect for David as a person and as your partner. The room was quiet except for Jennifer's crying. I sat there and felt something shift inside me. Dr. Shaw had named it, the thing I hadn't been able to articulate. It wasn't just about the money, it was about respect. And I didn't know if Jennifer could ever truly give me that. I had security. I had control of my own finances. Jennifer got a part-time job, marketing consultant, remote. She started working again, rebuilding the career she'd left behind. I was glad. It was good for her to have something of her own that wasn't stolen. But we didn't talk about the future. We didn't make plans. We just existed in the present, day by day, session by session. 3 months after everything fell apart, we were sitting on the back porch. Emma was in bed. The night was cool. Neither of us spoke. Finally, Jennifer said, I've been thinking about everything, about what I did, about why I did it. I waited. Dr. Shaw was right, she said. It wasn't about the money. It was about control, about having something you couldn't take away. I never wanted to take anything from you. I know, but my dad did. He took everything from my mom, and I couldn't risk that. So you took from me instead. She nodded. I did, and I'm sorry. Not just because I got caught, but because I see now what I was doing. I was treating you like you were him. And that wasn't fair. No, it wasn't. Can you forgive me? I thought about it. Really thought about it. Maybe, I said. Eventually. But I don't know if I can forget. And I don't know if I can trust you the way I did before. I understand. Do you? Because that means this marriage might not make it, Jennifer. That means we might get divorced. That means Emma might grow up in a broken home. I know, her voice was steady. And if that happens, it'll be my fault. I accept that. We sat in silence. I don't want to divorce you, I said finally. But I don't know how to stay married to you either. So what do we do? I don't know. And that was the truth. I didn't know. That might come back. It might not. Emma is thriving. She's 4 now. She has friends. She's happy. She doesn't know how close everything came to falling apart. My mother visits more often. Jennifer has apologized to her, though my mother doesn't know the full story. I've kept that private. Some betrayals are too personal to share. I work less now. I take breaks. I play with Emma. I go for walks. I remember what it's like to not feel guilty for existing. The $92,000 sits in our savings account now, our actual savings account, the one we both have access to, the one we're building together for Emma's future. Sometimes I look at that balance and feel angry all over again. Other times I just feel tired. But I don't feel inadequate anymore. I don't feel like a failure. I know now that I wasn't the problem. I was never the problem. I was just married to someone who couldn't trust me with the truth. Whether she's learned to trust me now, I still don't know. But I'm learning to trust myself. And for now, that's enough. Then why are you both so sad? Out of the mouths of children? Sometimes adults have problems, I said. We're working on them. Will you fix them? I hope so. She seemed satisfied with that. She hugged me and went to sleep. I stood in her doorway, watching her breathe in the darkness, and thought about what it means to fix something that's been broken. Maybe you can't. Maybe once trust is shattered, it can never be fully restored. Maybe the best you can hope for is to build something new on top of the ruins. I don't know yet. We're still in the building phase. But I do know this. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. I'm stronger. I'm clearer. I don't let people tell me what I'm worth anymore, not even my wife, especially not my wife. And if this marriage doesn't survive, I'll be okay. I have my daughter. I have my work. I have my self-respect. I won't be like my father. I won't abandon anyone. But I also won't be like the man I was, the man who let someone steal from him for 4 years because he was too trusting to question it. That man is gone, and I don't miss him at all.